now we're recording.
Okay.
We're live back out on the for the YouTube channel.
So this morning's edition of the Speaker Factor is being broadcast in triplicate, Facebook Live, your Facebook Live.
I'll go live right now. We'll go
Or-
live on my Facebook.
What about what was it? Are you on X?
Yeah.
Is
we
this
can go
live
out
on X?
We
Yeah.
can. So as soon as I get the laptop down there working,
Okay.
and I've got another microphone for the laptop, a good one like this one.
Mm-hmm.
These are really sensitive, and I can tone them. When I learn how to work this little thing, it'll be cool.
When Henry learns how to work that little thing, maybe we can play some Ernie Cato records, which Peter has requested of us to do. Actually, this studio, you're about 50% there for
Kiwi.
setting up a Kiwi music station.
Kiwi.rock.
Kiwi.rock. Coming
And-
soon.
Yeah, and I will.
Because I think you've got the room here for a couple of turntables and a couple of CD decks.
And I think what I really need to do, I really think, just take everything out, put a table down the middle, right?
Okay.
And just get rid of all the crap. You know what I mean?
Maybe we should visit a studio somewhere else just to get an idea of what to
Well,
put in here.
I was up at Ren.
Yeah.
I asked them if I could buy it. I wanted to just buy Ren.
Right.
They didn't want.
What'd they say?
No,
Now, who did you try to buy it from?
the guys that owned it.
Oh, that was way back when.
No, just the other day.
What?
Up there. They broadcast.
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not kidding you. I would never kid you.
Ren.
Life's too short for kidding.
Yeah.
But they're.
Want to say hi to Rose?
Hey, Rose, how you doing? Good morning. Is she down in Lewis?
No, I believe she would be in Topeka because we have a Helping Hands board meeting tomorrow at 5:30. So I'm presuming she's in the area. Woof woof. Apparently, Helping Hands, by the way, is quite full. From what I've been seeing on the social media, but that's always, by the way, a worthy cause. They're having a big art auction at Helping Hands, and if you have some artwork you'd like
the
to,
dogs.
yeah, Helping Hands
Yeah.
Humane Shelter.
Yeah.
They're having a big art auction over there pretty soon, and if you have some art you'd like to donate, just drop by Helping Hands out there on Southwest 21st, and tell them the Topeka Factor sent you.
Yes.
And
Hey, did you hear about the new
Yeah.
business that opened up? Hey, now we're on my Henry McClure Live too.
And I'm on Facebook Live, so we are once again broadcasting in triplicate. And what's all the? I can't even read that.
Well, that's my phone. If somebody wants to call in, that's
Okay.
the Google.
All right,
But
we're here to talk about Topeka real estate and other issues.
do you know what's really wild about this table? Can I tell you something?
We're yeah, okay,
I bought it from God's Storehouse,
okay.
but I owned it one time.
What?
I owned this table at one time
Well,
in my life. These came out of Bennigan's.
As somebody who used to spend a lot of time drinking himself under the table, it's always good to see a good table.
Well, I
Brings back fond
I
memories.
identify with that. Well,
You know-
I was, alcohol affected me a different way. It stimulated me. I want to just keep going.
We're talking about euphoric recall, sports fans.
Yes. The voice of a retired professional.
Facebook Live
Henry
from
McClure Live.
emanating from the Boss
The
Radio
Henry McClure
Studios.
Live
Now,
Studios.
what is it with Ren that there is for sale? Apparently,
Nothing.
it's not for sale.
There's nothing.
What is
but
it they have?
They've got an advertising base.
I mean, do they have a studio?
Yeah, just up the street. You know, Louie does a Friday night show. He used to.
I've heard about that.
Yeah,
but-
Louie.
Yeah.
Louie.
So, okay. You're talking about the internet Ren.
Yes, sir.
That Les Glenn, is that his name?
Yeah. There are the nice people from. They all used to work for Stauffer, I think.
Frank Chafin and Bernie Bottenberg started that way back when, and they had a little studio on North Kansas in Noto, I remember, and so I don't know.
Good morning.
I don't know where their studio is now.
Good morning.
Yeah, but yes, it
Yeah,
is.
nice to see you.
Yeah, it's nice.
You're looking good.
I'm doing my best.
I'm glad you're here today.
Facebook Live.
I'm grateful.
Well, that's the way to be.
What's wrong with that?
Marshall Barber, and here he is.
Henry McClure live
Henry
over
McClure.
here.
And,
So who else you got? I want to
well,
know.
I don't have much going on
Siegel,
this morning.
I want Siegel to get in from Ottumwa.
Yeah, we haven't
I
heard.
like that guy.
We haven't heard from Steve yet. They keep telling me I have a slow connection, so I don't know how well.
Look at that. See, I'm telling you, the shims.
My connection is roughly commensurate with my intellectual ability this morning, but we do have some interesting questions to bring up while Henry.
I'm going to try to adjust the microphone.
Henry is trying to reassemble his
what I was hoping
his
was,
apparatus
with this
here. Let's get a
table, I
look
would
at
just
that.
Drill them in
Whoops. Boy, I tell you, he's talking about just a couple of old guys kind of fumbling around here.
Well, you know,
we were doing a little
the live television.
when we were down there at Julie's. We were.
Well, it was simpler.
It was a little simpler, yeah.
I'm
Now we're actually trying to assemble
trying to make
an actual studio.
We're making it harder than it is.
And if, yeah, these difficult. This is sort of like the media equivalent of a pothole, which is another subject, incidentally, that I have been asked to address. In that, apparently, the city of Topeka has $7+ million to spend on a hotel, as opposed to spending whatever it would take to fix all the potholes.
Well, so there's that brings up another subject.
There's another real estate.
Besides the $7.5 million. There's all the unfunded, the not committed funds that JETO sits on, and that could be anywhere up as 10 to 17 million. I made a Cora request.
We have a little news item about JETO to relate as well.
You do?
I thought you would really be.
You mean about the 16 million in unfunded liability they have for the streets that were on the ballot?
Let's see. We have. This is from the newspaper, Sunday's paper.
These deals.
The Joint Economic Development Organization voted unanimously last week, Wednesday, to offer incentives to two companies for which the names have not been made public. These incentives, if accepted, would provide the following. Here you go, Henry. As much as $1,590,400 for what was called Project Queen Bee. And we're not talking.
And what I heard, that's Goodyear is being sold.
A local manufacturing company planning to expand its business in Shawnee County. This company would make.
That's for Goodyear.
This company would make a capital investment of $47.2 million with 182 new jobs. With the average,
that might be a good deal to invest in.
With the average wage ranging from $60,000 to $120,000.
A little more corporate welfare, that might be a good investment.
And here's the other one, as much as $272,000 to what was dubbed Project Oriole. And as a former resident of Baltimore and a Baltimore Orioles fan, I'm all in favor of something called Project Oriole.
Have you seen the streets of Baltimore?
I would not want to now. No.
I've seen pictures. There's these guys that go around and make these lives.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, hang on. Let's address JETO.
This local manufacturing company wants to expand and relocate to a new location in Topeka.
Okay.
This supposedly would provide 60 new jobs with their capital investment of $31 million.
And all I'm telling you is Molly Howie doesn't need 14 people to make that deal. She, that's one person, one deal. It's a one salary job.
A one salary job.
It really is.
Yeah.
Look, I don't want to snarl at everything just because I never get any economic development. And Wheatfield got $1.6 million in economic development. And Bring Back the Boulevard gets a grant for $2,500. to a committee that I've never met because I just don't want to sound like sour grapes.
Okay.
But it's not, we don't need to spend $3.5 million to get those two deals. Okay. Whatever Molly makes, let her make that, move on. But everybody else has got to go find a job.
And here's Bob Thomas. Good morning, Bob.
Big Bob.
There's a real estate broker, appraiser of note. Bob and I both go back. Well, all three of us would go back.
How far?
To the 80s, at least.
Well, I go back to 79.
Yeah.
Where's Bob have his license at now?
Well, this is another real estate move, countrywide real estate.
I know that, Bob Thomas.
Bob, tell me if I'm wrong, has relocated, and I'm not sure where their new office is, but it was on McAllister. They had a 2-story office building there that is now for sale. If you're looking for...
Were they ever a part or an arm of the lending company, Countrywide?
There was no relationship. Had there been such a relationship, everybody that worked for that real estate brokerage would either be ensconced in luxurious headquarters in Cancun, or what's that place where the Bitcoin guy went? The Bahamas?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Had they been part of Angelo Mazzolo's enterprise, they'd all be living in the Bahamas right now or in jail.
Man, have you seen that movie
but
Inside
no,
Job?
There was no relationship, and that's always been one of these independent real estate companies, kind of like my company, Valley Realtors.
Well, you are Valley.
John might disagree with that assessment.
But does he do any deals?
What?
Does he do any?
Oh,
deals?
he does. Yeah, he's very active.
I didn't know.
Very active. I want to say hi to Danny.
Say hello to John Valley.
And Sharon.
He's so busy, he doesn't have time for our videos.
I helped Sharon sell her house last year, and she's now happily ensconced at Northern Sky Townhomes.
Is ensconced the word of the day?
Yes.
I've heard it
one of them.
times.
We're
getting ensconced in the word
sort of
ensconced.
like your friend Molly is comfortably ensconced at her post with Jade.
Silver Lake.
Oh, there's
She
Connie.
lives in Silver Lake.
Hi, Connie.
Which Connie?
Connie Hawks Lowry. We're getting more. This is interesting. It seems like I'm getting more action on Facebook Live today than last week when we were.
Everybody else was ensconced in other things.
They were, yes.
The other times.
They were distracted by other ensconcements. Yeah.
So look, let's wrap up Jetto and move on. But what they don't print in there.
Okay.
What they don't print is there's a $16.5 million shortfall.
Oops.
In all the road projects.
Oh, including pothole renovation.
Well, so on the original ballot issue for economic development, where to put the half-cent sales tax, there's a whole litany of roads that were ensconced on the ballot.
Okay.
And so you had economic development, about 15 roads, and some other things. The Expo Center, all good causes. But they are not mentioning that today we have a $16.5 million shortfall to get those projects done. So what you got to do is you keep Miss Molly doing the Queen Bee and Project Oreo.
Good golly, Miss Molly.
Yeah, keep her around. She's learned better the political. She's more of a politician anyway. You got to take the commissioners and the city council people, and they got to retire their United Way, all that stuff they just gave away, to win favor with the public. Because then that way, if you're doling out $500,000 a year to different charities, you're everybody's best friend.
Everybody loves you.
Yeah, nobody's going to be like Henry McClure bringing up anything negative. I can't get a sewer for a Pizza Hut that took 2 years to get the building permit. Whatever.
This is why we're kind of thinking of the Topeka Factor as a alt real estate show, in the sense that we talk about things in terms that are less than diplomatic, perhaps, but in contrast to the prevailing narrative, which is, oh, everything's just great, and we're just moving along, and everybody's wonderful, and
Yeah, well,
here's
that's all
another
bullshit.
here's another 15 million, and we lost track of that 16
Hey,
million.
now let's talk
but
about the homeless real quick.
Why?
Why? Because speaking of losing track of money,
Okay.
Gavin Newsom can't find $60 billion
We're
for
monetizing.
homeless.
We're monetizing the
You know
homeless now.
Gavin?
What?
Do you know Gavin?
Well,
He can't find $60 billion that was earmarked from California taxpayers to the homeless. He can't find it.
yeah, okay.
No, I'm not kidding you.
Well, that's California.
Well, yeah, but look, I'm telling you, it happens in New York, it happens in California. It takes a couple years, but it ends up here.
I'm extremely jealous. I'll take my hat off for a moment. I'm taking my hat off to Gavin Newsom because I'm really jealous of that dude's hair. I mean, if I had hair like that, I'd have at least 5 more girlfriends and 20 more years of life in real estate to look forward to.
I don't think so.
But
I don't think it's there.
No, Gavin's an interesting character.
Well,
once again, I just want to.
Homeless has gone up
In California?
Yeah.
You know, I went out, I had a rude awakening.
Well, wait a minute, this is the Topeka factor.
Well.
But we can look at what didn't work out there and not do it here.
And what didn't work here.
It's just throwing money.
In brief.
And it was giving it to the not-for-profits.
Yeah. I mean, one thing we could do, I don't know how we do it. I
could almost tie this into Go Topeka.
Well, we could reopen a facility comparable to Topeka State so these people could get some help.
You know,
right now, I might have sort of made light of homelessness earlier, for which if that offended anyone, I do apologize. But basically what you have, you know, you see somebody on the street, right? Okay, let's not forget that guy or that woman. They've got an anxious mother out there. They might have an anxious father out there, but nobody knows what to do. They're suffering from schizophrenia. They have psychosis. They're not taking their medication. Their whole life.
Well, you know, medication isn't always the answer to everything.
I'm not saying it is, but basically all these people.
Can I jump in on medication real quick?
Sure.
So I ran into a good friend of mine. I'm out walking West Ridge Mall.
Okay.
Who's got a whole different positive vibe in there, and I think
that's true.
Yes, it does. It just feels better out there.
It does.
And I run into this guy, and he says, "Hey, are you going to do some deals out here?" And I said, "Well, no, I haven't been invited to." So
okay.
That's fair enough.
All right.
None of my business. But, you know, Cody, he's going to love it because he doesn't have to answer to the city on every deal. You know what I mean?
Sure.
The heartache that guy went through downtown Topeka for his taco store.
Yeah, he's building one at 8th and Kansas.
It's beautiful.
Just down the street from a new listing I wanted to discuss at some point.
Oh, you mean the office listing that I've got?
Oh, you've got, okay, which office do you have?
It's the one on Jackson.
You're on Jackson? Okay.
Owned by Cardulo and Augie. Bogina.
Okay. Where on Jackson?
8th.
8th and Jackson. What? Oh, is that the
old office? It's called the office.
Oh, okay.
The bar.
Literally the office. Yeah, okay. I helped him buy that back in 2004.
How much?
Well, the whole package was in 2004 prices. I think it was more like 2.5, maybe.
Well, some knucklehead called me and was figuring out how many parking stalls he can get in there.
Parking?
Yeah. Oh. And I said, well...
So he'd want a demo?
Demo it and turn it into a parking lot. I said, and he's telling me how he knew the owners, right?
Yeah. Okay.
I go, why don't you just go directly on that? I don't want my fingerprints on a parking lot offer.
Right. Did he?
I don't care.
Oh, okay.
No, well, I talked to Cardulo, and I told him about what's going on.
Okay.
And so I'm still trying to come up with a broker's opinion.
On the price?
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's get Bob Thomas, the appraiser, to go tell me.
If Bob's still with us, hey, what's the corner of 8th and Jackson worth? I see that we do have a number of people watching.
I've
I don't know.
got some people on mine right now.
We're on.
It's nice to have you tuning in. Let's see who's watching.
Once again, a reminder: this is the Topeka Factor, Topeka's alt real estate show with Henry McClure and Marshall Barber. And
Susan Evans is watching, and Trent Drescher's watching.
Well, good.
Live on Henry McClure Live.
And this is being recorded to play back on YouTube.
Yes.
So eventually, the Topeka Factor can be seen nationwide on YouTube. Is that correct?
Okay. It is. We are. Actually,
there's Angie.
Well, hello, Angie.
Yeah, loan us some money to buy 727 South Kansas.
727.
Yeah.
Is that your new listing?
It's not my listing, but in the interest of the general good, I already put this up on Facebook. It's listed by a younger real estate agent named Amanda Danielson, whose father was Chris Woolery, who was one of the tenants in this building. He was an attorney.
Any relation to Chuck?
I don't know. He was an attorney
Chuck Woolery.
with Michael Jackson, not,
No, I know Michael Jackson.
The late Michael Jackson.
Oh, he died?
Yeah, both
the attorney Michael Jackson.
Both the attorneys involved are deceased, and this building is a total time capsule in the upper two floors. It has this.
Have you been up in it?
I was up there yesterday.
Did you make it live?
You
got to go Marshall Barber Live.
I could have done that.
Yeah, why not? Hey, you hold your phone up.
Yeah.
Hey, this is Marshall Barber Live. I'm here touring this real estate, helping Amanda
Danielson. I took some pictures.
Danielson.
I took some pictures that I put up on Facebook. She is with Better Homes and Gardens.
Oh man, the Wastel's down there.
Wade Wastel.
Yeah, and Abby.
And Abby. Yeah.
Forget about Wade.
And she
and
I.
Cheryl Shepard.
Right. She and I just did a residential deal together, and it became like so many residential transactions, somewhat complicated.
Now, did her sister get a license?
And she's very...
Hey, Cheryl, if you're watching, come on down to the studio. I think we left the door open.
The door's open.
The door's open to our studio today. You can call in. I got to learn how to write backwards.
Now, this... I was going to say that Amanda is one of these younger agents who's picked it up very quickly and is a joy to work with. All that said, either one of us...
I think you're discriminating on age.
Either one of us, being licensed agents, can show you that property if you have some concept for a... That's my question after looking at it.
I appreciate what you just did. For me to succeed... And for you to succeed, Amanda has to succeed.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah. And it's MLS number 234044. There's K and there's Jerry Q.
I've never joined the MLS in a long time.
Well, you ought to think about that. But
I want to think about retiring.
Yeah, we think about that constantly.
There's a lot of advantages
to
having a real estate license.
Here's your actual MLS printout. Well, don't get too carried away with that.
Why?
Because there's pending action in the... there's Janice way out in Virginia.
That's not going to affect me because I do everything as a transaction broker my whole life.
Without a license?
No, I have a license.
Okay.
But I can buy and sell without a license.
Okay, but then what would you be? You wouldn't be a real estate broker. You'd be what, a consultant?
I'd be Henry McClure.
Okay.
And I like being that, Henry McClure.
Well, it's
actually I changed my tune today. I'm actually looking at buying a piece of real estate in Topeka.
Okay.
In spite of my better judgment.
Well, okay, that would make.
And I'm buying it solely because of the Chick-fil-A and Whataburger deal.
Okay.
Because I know Chick-fil-A in itself, Chick-fil-A on its own is going to change the boulevard.
Yes.
Yes.
And how so?
Because it's going to bring, the average Chick-fil-A does $8 million in sales.
Okay.
And the sales volume that it's going to bring. So.
And it might pull
Look, there are a lot of people that live east of Topeka Boulevard that don't want to go to Wanamaker.
That don't want to go. Yeah,
no,
that would
and
go
they
to.
don't even want to
yeah,
associate with the people
that's a good
that
point.
live in Wanamaker.
Well,
Have you seen?
they need to get over that.
Well, no, but they do.
Janice says she misses my music, so there's another possible Kiwi rock customer right there.
Let's do that.
We got.
I love music so much. I do. Kiwi is in my heart. I love Kiwi.
Well, and the thing about getting Kiwi going would be, as opposed to these some of these other outlets. If we had Kiwi going, you and I both have so many long-standing local connections that we could bring a lot of Topeka into the show in a way that it's not being done now.
We ought to get all Jim Cates records out of his garage.
Well, again, if Angie would loan us, let's say this loan of $350 gets expanded to $350 plus $250, we could buy Jim's record collection. The only question then would be where to store it. In fact, we could, if Angie would loan us the $350, we could put, or shall I say, ensconce, that's the word of the day. Like we could put the studio in the building at 727 South Kansas. This building, by the way, had been the Washburn Law School, and I believe it was actually the first office that C.F. Menninger had when he started the Menninger Clinic.
I asked him if he was crazy.
Oh, shut up.
I did.
C.F.?
Yep.
No, you wouldn't have known him. He passed a long time.
Carl Menninger.
Well, no, C.F., this is like the grandfather.
Well, how old would he? When I was
Carl with
was
a
he
K.
alive in 62?
That's Carl with a K you're talking about. CF would have been long gone.
Was he? Okay.
Long gone.
So his son.
Right.
Carl.
Yeah, there was Carl.
But Carl's the oldest.
There was Roy. There was Edwin, I think. Weren't there three Menninger brothers?
Yes.
Yeah.
But
and CF was the daddy.
But
that started the whole thing back in the 20s.
Okay. So he could have been, but he was dead in 64.
I don't know that, but I'm pretty sure he probably was. I'd have to go back and read the book.
Do you know Rosemary Menninger?
Sure. She went to Topeka. She's a Topeka West graduate.
Yes, ask her.
Class of 66, I believe.
So you remember those commercials, E.F. Hutton? You know,
yeah.
E.F. Hutton talks, people listen.
Right.
So I'm at the,
as opposed to when the Topeka Factor talks.
When Henry McClure talks at City Council, nobody listens.
They're going, when's this guy going to shut up?
This lady from City Council walked out of a meeting the other day and shooed me. I got shooed by a councilwoman. Shooed me.
During the actual meeting?
No, after the meeting on the way out. I was shooed.
What you did public comment?
Yeah, I did public comment.
What was the nature of your comment?
Well, I was talking about Project Santa Claus.
Okay.
About Molly just giving away money to everybody.
Okay.
You know, making
making
everybody's Christmas list. You know, it's confusion to the enemy.
How about this? Instead of hanging the mouth on Molly, let's go to Molly and get a grant for redeveloping 727 Kansas in conjunction with financing that Angie's going to provide.
Well, aren't there
home run?
Aren't there a handful of grants?
So
I mean, isn't there a downtown Topeka Inc.?
Well, that's another possible avenue.
Well, what worries me is I found some inconsistencies with Go Topeka, and how many entities has our government abdicated their control and ensconced the Greater Topeka Chamber of Commerce in?
Okay.
How many?
That's a good question.
Visit Topeka, downtown Topeka. Who else?
We ask
Go
these questions.
Topeka.
So my question, though, getting back to this building that I'm kind of obsessed with.
Well, hey, why don't we?
Is how do you?
If anybody knows this Amanda Daniels, get her to call in.
Danielson.
Yeah, whatever.
Well, we could call her.
I'm sorry,
but I don't think we should ambush her on her cell phone.
Why not? You can call me anytime, any place.
But my question, seriously, has to do. I want to say good morning to Lynn. Thanks for dialing in.
Hey, Lynn. Good morning.
How do you capitalize? What kind of project could you do here that would make money? In other words, you've got the two retail spaces.
Retail or office
on the
main
bottom,
floor, and then live upstairs.
And then, okay, but if you're living upstairs, where do you park?
There's RHID.
Where do you park?
Well, there's parking over.
So if someone has groceries,
you know where that
they park,
B store is.
They park in the.
What's the name of that convenience store on 6th Street?
On 6th.
Busy Bee, Easy Bee.
Oh, that's yeah, I know. That's 6th and Quincy.
That's the
Barnwell.
Bees, not Be Well.
Be Well.
Be Well. There's parking right across the street from Be Well. That parking garage. I've analyzed all the parking garages. You know, if we sold all the parking garages and just put a cap rate on them, you can really make a lot of money. And
so
put them on the tax rolls.
I think the people that redevelop, back in another lifetime, I sold the old Palace building, also on the 700 block of Kansas.
I've sold a condo in there
and
twice.
How much do those condos sell for, and where do the people park? That would be the question.
Well, we had parking on the garage that was attached to it. We, meaning John Parker of Mainline Printing.
Yeah.
And we bought what was the designer showcase house. Actually, Cheryl Shepard made a live video with me on that.
There's Jeff. Hey, Jeff.
Which Jeff?
My friend Jeff, yeah.
Yeah, Jeff.
Jeff Scott.
Jeff Scott.
Yeah.
You mean the title guy? The very best title guy in this county?
Well, no. My friend Jeff is not in the title industry per se.
Isn't that Jeff Scott? Isn't he a title guy too?
But he can throw a few switches for you.
You know,
if you're looking to solve state tax problems.
Bad title work. I go to Sherilyn at Alpha Title.
Yeah.
But there's nothing wrong with Lawyer's Title.
Or Kansas Secured.
Or Security First.
Right.
There's not a bad title company. And what I've done over the years is...
it's kind of like no bad dogs, no bad title companies.
Oh, man, there are no bad dogs.
Yeah. Christy Nome ain't going to agree with that, but yeah, there's no bad dogs. Well, it's good to have Jeff and Lynn and Angie and everybody watching on Facebook Live. By the way,
you know what they do with dog breeders with dogs that didn't, like if they're...
Okay, it's my fault for bringing it up, but
no,
let's not get into that.
They drowned them.
Well,
dog breeders.
Don't drown your dog. If you have a dog that you can't deal with, please bring it over to the Helping Hands. Bring it over to the Helping Hands Humane Shelter, and we will take care of your dog.
I had a tenant lock a dog in the basement.
Oh, I'm telling you,
the house.
I've seen some things.
Man, I chased that lady around. The Topeka Police Department was helping me, and like I'd get on the phone, I'd see her, and she'd be running. I'd be on the phone, and man, Topeka PD was really good to me.
A little clarification here. Jeff's expertise is in IT, not title. But anyway, and want to say hi to Jane, too.
Hello, Jane. Which Jane?
She's out of town somewhere, and I'm not sure where.
That's remember George Carlin?
She shares a common last name with one of Topeka's leading commercial real estate agents, Rezak, but I don't know if there's any relation. I somehow doubt there is.
Mark Rezak, I got to thank Mark Rezak for tolerating me for 2 years. Putting up with my bullshit of trying to get that Pizza Hut a building permit.
I'll take partial credit for that because Mark Rezak got used to having to tolerate the intolerable when he was working with me on the Northern Sky Townhomes deal. So I kind of...
Oh, in fact, I've got to call Ed Eller. I need a 10,000 foot tenant for a property I'm looking at buying, and I'd even list it with Ed Eller.
Do you hear that, guys?
You know, seriously.
He's going to list it with you.
I would. I want a referral fee.
Of course. And that referral fee would go straight
into... ensconced.
Yeah, it would go straight into the
real estate.
Ongoing development of the Topeka Factor Studios.
You know, I'm surprised I can't get anybody else to jump in on the Go Topeka acing this out, but maybe they all have their deals.
Maybe. Hey, there's Wally. How you doing, Wally?
Hello, Wally.
Yeah.
So we never did get back to the health issue. I ran into a friend of mine at the mall.
The health issue? You mean like for the homeless?
No, they're they're free range Topekans. We're just going to rename them. They're not
free. That's good.
They're free-range Shawnee County residents.
We're going to rebrand the homeless. Yes.
They're no longer homeless. They're free-range.
They're free-range.
They're cage-free.
Free-range Topekans.
They are. A friend of mine said they're actually probably old Western people, that just don't have a horse.
There it is, sports fans.
They love to live outside.
You've seen the Topeka Factor make history here. We have officially rebranded the homeless. Gavin Newsom, where are you?
$60 billion.
We're trying to help you. Okay.
Okay, no, so let me hang on a second here. We were talking about health issues, right?
Yeah, okay.
I run into this guy.
At the mall.
At the mall.
Westridge.
And he's and he comes up to me, hey, what are you doing? And I was just there walking, getting some fresh air. And he got diabetes 4 months after getting the COVID shot.
Okay.
And prior to that, completely healthy.
Mm-hmm.
I pray you're not vaccinated.
Well, yeah, I developed. I had a response to that, but let's keep going.
Oh yeah, I remember you used to be a mask wearer.
The things that happened to me after my COVID vaccine, yes.
Oh, did bad things happen?
Well, I just completely my social life just went completely to hell. Oh, it's because I stayed inside. I guess it wasn't the fault of the vaccine after all.
Oh.
There's Kevin. And
let's talk about Israel. That's the one thing we agree on.
I got some new zits on my forehead after the COVID vaccine. I'm sure that damn vaccine, it ruined my life. Anyway.
Well, I mean.
So this guy gets diabetes and he blames it on the vaccine. Has he been able to medically?
There's more auto.
Has he been able to medically verify that?
Was it a coincidence?
I mean, I could say, well, I had a heart attack in 2023. Did the vaccine cause that?
Look, it took me.
I really did have a heart attack, by the way.
Of drinking to get to type 2 diabetes.
Okay, type 2, yeah, right, gotcha.
So think about how much I consumed.
Well, okay. I'd rather not, but
diabetes
I've got my own story
just doesn't pop in on you.
Well, true. That's what I mean. If a guy's going to make that assertion, there'd have to be, you'd have to look at his diet. You'd have to look at his overall lifestyle.
He's like a do-gooder.
Was he overweight?
No.
Was he poorly dressed?
No. He was not free range.
I think there's a connection between dressing poorly and diabetes.
Let's get out of the healthcare issue.
That's just my assertion, but hey, I saw it on the internet, so it's got to be true, right?
All right, so let's talk about downtown. You got all sorts of notes here. Look at this.
Well,
he's got a whole file of stuff. Look at him.
You've kind of had this ongoing. I won't use the phrase hard on for the city. And
you know something, I don't want to hate Topeka.
Oh, I'm sorry, but let me back up real quick, just to 727 Kansas, just for a minute.
Okay, go.
You know what I found up there?
Tell me.
I found a campaign sign.
For who?
For Mayor Bill McCormick. And I posted it on Facebook yesterday. A picture of me holding up the Mayor Bill for Mayor campaign sign. Want to say hi to Terry? Oh, she's over on your page. And there's Randy trying to call me, which I will not be able to take that call.
Who's that?
I'm not sure who it is. It's probably
Randy Baker.
It's probably someone calling me about one of my listings.
Well, make a deal.
So I'll just have to send him a message.
Make a deal.
Say, please text me. There we go. Okay. We got that taken care of.
Mayor Bill McCormick.
Yeah, this was a campaign sign dating back probably to 1976.
Was there a daughter, McCormick?
Now, Mike, another Better Homes and Gardens agent, Mike Botkin, has just dialed in. And he dialed in too late because, Mike, you missed our rant about potholes that was inspired by you.
But, Mike,
But we also have another rant.
But we also were promoting Better Homes and Garden like shills.
Yeah, yep. We've been promoting Amanda's listing.
We'd like to get
we've been badgering
into the studio.
We've been badgering Angie Floorshoots about getting financing to buy it. Huh?
But or bring the Shepherd twins.
Bring them all.
You know, Cheryl's sister, I think now is selling real estate.
She's got a twin?
Yeah, she's
really.
I think so.
That's a good thing for humanity.
Well, yeah, look at the stock.
If only there were triplicates as opposed to twins. But hey, Mike had another rant for us to share.
Hey, tell me about that stairwell. Where's that staircase?
Let's see. I'm going to show this to. These are photos that appear on
and this
MLS
is all
number
in this building.
234044.
And how much has she got it for sale for?
$350. And that was appraised, by the way. Anthony Bunting appraised it for $350, as is. And I should say the building needs a little bit of work.
I'll tell you what I'm going to do.
But that stairwell, as I recall, when you walk, there's a side entrance for the upstairs, and you go up the side entrance, and you're then on the landing of the second floor, and that's where you'll see the stairwell to the third floor.
If you didn't have to sell real estate, could you live without a car?
Could I what?
Live without a car.
What, do you think I live in New York City? Of course I could. The question is, do I want to? And living in Topeka, would that be a viable existence? Possibly.
Well, I had a car in the shop, and it took a little longer. We couldn't get some parts. And when I lived over in Raintree, Charlie Wilson and I would walk to work.
Yeah.
And
you can always ride the bus, I guess.
I could walk to Dillon's.
You can take a cab.
Uber.
Or Uber.
And I was driving those little scooters. And I used to love the bank. Capital Federal had all those bikes.
Oh, yeah.
With the little basket in front.
But from the standpoint, once again, of a downtown property, maybe not even necessarily 727 Kansas, but where your concept is lofts that people live in, like the Palace, the question always gets down to if you're selling a condo for what, $350. Those Palace condos were kind of pricey, as I remember.
I can't recall the sale price off the top of my head.
They were up there, but if you're going to get into the 200,000 plus range,
Stan Zimmerman wedged in with.
There's another Topeka West graduate.
You know, I saw him I saw his thumb get pulled off.
Huh?
On Lake Sherwood.
Oh, okay. All right. That's not recent.
No, I'm serious. He had a water skiing accident, lost his thumb.
That's what happens.
I saw it, Pete Breyer.
That's what happens.
Trick skiing.
But okay, if you're talking about real estate upwards in price of $200,000, chances are your buyer is going to have at least one, maybe two pretty nice cars. So they're going to want to know, first of all, where do I put my car? That's been a question that I've never had a satisfactory answer for.
Well, so in the Palace, it's attached to all that parking that opens up down on 8th Street.
Okay, but it's not.
And it's
not adjacent to the living quarters. Now the guy.
No, but you can get to it pretty easy.
The guy that redeveloped the old Seymour building, I believe, he was an architect. Wilson.
Oh, Mike Wilson. He's a good architect.
I think he put in underground parking. So you pull down below the building.
Seymour building on
First in Kansas.
Oh.
Which by the way was the site of the original cabin of the guys who started Topeka. There's a cornerstone of that building which gives you the date and everything for that.
So
once again, this is Facebook Live. We're with Henry McClure.
Good morning.
There he is.
How y'all doing?
Doing the show called the Topeka Factor. It's your alt real estate show for Topeka real estate.
I don't mind that name, alt real estate.
Yeah. Well, we just have a different.
I'm learning what to not bring up with you.
We have a non-establishment point of view here, from both sides of the political spectrum.
Not establishment.
Huh?
I was talking to some.
We are what's
people,
referred to as outliers.
They were telling me how they're going to come against me.
They're coming against you?
Well, they will, because you don't want to. You can't take away the slush fund of the body politic. And if you're running for office and you want to take away the slush fund, they'll come get you. Because Topeka retaliates against you. Why do you think I don't get any economic development help?
He wants to close the real estate candy store, sports fans.
No, I don't want to do that. I want to create an even playing field. And if the even playing field is to take away the candy store for the body politic, let's just put the money in the roads.
Yeah, it tends to be.
Well, because God forbid Henry make a deal and benefit from it.
Well, here's an interesting question. Now, this is the city, not the county.
But it's all one.
But there's kind of a long-standing question on my part of why hasn't there ever been a serious effort made to consolidate city-county government? Because you've got this endless duplication of services.
Well, does it go back clear to Brown versus Board?
Maybe.
White flight?
It could be. Well, that's a good question, too. Yeah.
And that would be something that I would like to study in my lifetime. The effects of white flight. And when I was living in LA, I met a guy that was homeschooling his kids, and they were talking about Brown versus Board. And I introduced myself to this guy, and I said, I'm from Topeka, Kansas. He goes, wow, we're studying Brown versus Board right now at home. I'm homeschooling my kids.
Yeah.
And I said, well, my grandfather's Judge James A. McClure. And all of a sudden, I was famous.
There you go. What, was he the judge on that?
No.
Oh, okay.
But he was on the school board. So that's what
he was on the Dr. Kenneth McFarland was the superintendent of schools at that time, right?
He just happened to be a school board member.
Right, gotcha.
But so he attended in the peanut gallery the whole trial.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So, I mean, all these people, Bernie Van Stone? He's always yapping about 501. I go, well, why don't you run for school board office? If you really want to affect change in your community today, go get on the school board.
Okay. What does it pay? Yeah.
If I could make Shawnee County a place that Bianca Bantleon McClure would like to move home to, that's payment enough.
Well, yeah, when you talk about white flight, that's one thing, but another form of flight is younger people, such as your daughter, and my daughter, for that matter, moving to places like Olathe, rather than sticking around.
I did not hate Topeka when I left.
Well, it's just a question of what kind of
opportunity.
What kind of opportunities are perceived, and
Mace Siegel.
So that's another question.
Have I ever told you about Mace Siegel?
Well, yeah, we've talked about Mace Siegel.
Yeah, the horse guy.
Yeah.
But I lived in 11
the second leg of the
cities.
Triple Crown is coming up this weekend, I believe.
I lived in 11 different cities because of Mace.
Okay.
And in those 11 cities, I can tell you there's ways to do it better. And one of the cities I liked the most was Ventura. And you know why? The planning commission was the final say. There was no taking it to city council or to the other government.
Oh, so yeah, you get through the planning commission, you're
done.
in. I get it.
That's it.
Okay.
We've got too much oversight on everything. Like, why aren't the government consolidated? Everybody wants to have their piece of the pie.
Sure.
Hey,
sure.
Listen to this, though. I can tell you
See you later,
Jeff. That I know a guy that's going to run against Aaron Mays in district number 3.
Now, is that seat up for re-election this year?
2 and 3.
The seat you're running for is District 2?
2. District 2.
District 2. And
Marshall.
There's a putative candidate for Aaron Mays.
Yes, and they'll be coming forward. We're trying to figure out how to launch their career.
And Bill Rapon is District 1, correct? That's where I live.
The way it's the county's set out by state statute.
Bill can sleep better at night knowing that I have absolutely no interest in running for the county commission.
Well, I think that Bill's going to retire after.
He is?
After this reign.
I'm in. I'm throwing my hat into the ring right now because when Henry McClure gets on the county commission, I want to be right there with him.
Man, that would be fun.
Yeah.
But
I want to say hi to Werner. Can you play Love Will Keep Us Together?
Love will keep us together. Hey, I know Captain and Tennille. I've actually got
Check this out, Werner. We have an actual
Warner. Tony Tennille used to shop in the Park Lane Mall in Reno, Nevada.
Okay.
And I've got their autograph in the bathroom. We met.
So when
she was flying home to or I was up in Reno and she was flying down to sing at the Dodger game. She did the national anthem.
Okay.
And I happened to have a Park Lane Mall poster and I was putting it up in the overhead and she goes, "You know, I shop at Park Lane." I said, "I know, I see you all the time. I just don't bug you. You know, I want you to spend all your money. You know, these are my people." And I said, "Do you mind autographing this for me?" And she wrote, "Nice to meet you at 30,000 feet." And I was putting it back up. And then the captain goes, "Hey, what about me?" I go, "Well, hey, I didn't want to bother you." You know, and he signed.
Daryl Dragon.
Yeah, Daryl. And he goes, "The captain too." Like,
the autographed Captain and Tennille poster will be part of the decor when we assemble our Kiwi Rock
if
studio.
we have to move the studio into the men's room, you know, it's got good acoustics.
We have another former Kiwi good guy.
Where?
Watching us on Facebook Live. That would be Werner Lewis. Over there at the bank.
He was a Kiwi cutie?
Well, some people thought he was pretty cute.
Well, I don't remember.
I never personally swung that way, but there were people who could.
Men can be cute.
There were, yeah.
I mean, and you don't have to. It's not a sexual thing.
I mean, he always had more girlfriends than I did, so he must have had something going for him.
Let's bring up the gender issue. There's only two in my book. You want to talk about that?
He was also a key member.
You can't get a COVID shot and turn into a trans.
He was a key member of the Kiwi Super Hoopers basketball squad.
Super Hoopers?
Yeah, the Super Hoopers.
Hey, did Dr. Dunk ever play on that?
This was pre-Dr. Dunk, but you know what? Had the Kiwi Super Hoopers been active in the 80s, Dr. Dunk would definitely have been invited to play, because then we would go out and systematically annihilate everybody. See, we lost to everybody we played. And we actually tried to win.
What, you were like the reverse Harlem Globetrotters.
We were, yeah, exactly. But with Dr. Dunk, we would have been pretty close to the actual Harlem Globetrotters. Plus,
wait a minute.
Let's not forget about Mike Manns and Bob Rotten Totten. So anyway, Werner's got a bank over there in Lawrence. And we should talk to him about borrowing our $350,000 to buy 727. It's what's it called, Bank Midwest? I'm sure that's what. Correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't it called Bank Midwest? Right there at 6th and Wakarusa, by the 6th. It's close to that Salty Iguana and all that other. Yep. Okay. Bank Midwest. Finally got it right, and they're a good place to go for all kinds of financial situations, and doesn't matter. I don't know.
Wow, I just got all. You know,
I don't know.
Yeah, I have some research assistants.
Yeah.
Yes, and
so your staff is approximately gaining on the size of Molly's staff,
but paid for privately.
Okay. Remunerated privately. Yep. All right. Werner's got to go back to work.
That's kind of funny.
Yeah, if you're ever in Lawrence,
my camera just popped off. Man, okay. I got like all these emails. We've got everything lined up. See, what I want to finish looking into is the Lawrence Bay debacle. Number one, how do you get away with not having real estate taxes paid for a decade?
I don't know.
That's just not fair.
That's a good question.
And I want to know whose fingerprints are on that. And yes, you can't. And see, here's the thing about it. Chuck Doltmeyer.
I want to say hi to Denise, by the way.
Hey,
hi,
Denise, by the way.
That was a great song by Randy and the Rainbows, which would also.
Is her last name really, by the way?
That would be on the playlist.
Big family of by the way.
The Kiwi Rock. Well, they were related to the Wimmelways of The Lion Sleeps Tonight. Yeah. They were cousins.
In the jungle, the mighty jungle,
that's right.
The lion sleeps tonight.
Until Henry starts singing, then the lion wakes up and wants to kill somebody. But yeah, Randy and the Rainbows would be a part of the Kiwi Rock playlist once we get it going.
All right, we're going to go. I got bounced off. So we're going to go live now on Twitter.
Okay, we're live on Twitter.
Yeah.
Does your Twitter feed show me or does it just show you? I don't care. I'm just curious.
I'll just put you out there. The Twitter feed, no, they've had enough of me on Twitter. I've got 20,000 followers on Twitter.
Okay.
And, but man, the research department at MCRE Media.
Okay.
Did you know that I have a media channel?
I did not know that.
Yes, MCRE Media.
Okay.
And I've even got a press pass. It really looks good. But they wouldn't let me in at the chamber thing.
Really?
Yeah, when I think we're alone now. Tiffany. Remember Tiffany?
Okay.
Wasn't that her name?
Tiffany.
Tiffany. Yeah. I think we're alone now.
Well, you're referring to a recording artist.
Yeah, she was at the mall.
Who did a version of I Think We're Alone Now.
And she was she was like a one-hit wonder.
When you bring that song up, people like...
Who do you sing? Who do you think?
People like me and Werner think immediately of Tommy James and the Shondells, who did the original version on the Roulette label back in the 60s. I still have my 45 of that, by the way. Which also, referring to Kiwi Rock, would be on the playlist.
Okay, so we're going to have to get a turntable.
Right. I have turntables.
Oh, well, that's one less thing.
Yeah, I think I've even got a little mixer that we could... I think there's room in this rectangle here for everything.
So what I really need to do, I think I'll take that desk home.
The beating of our hearts is the only sound now.
Tommy James and the Shondells. Hey, you got 5 people watching.
My baby does the hanky-panky.
My baby does the hanky-panky. Okay, let me ask you a question. What's your favorite movie that you watch it just because of the soundtrack?
Oh, I'd have to say, okay, it would either be Goodfellas.
Ooh, that's a good movie.
Or what's the other?
It's a true story.
What's the other? I know.
Henry Hill.
Henry McClure Hill.
He's a rat.
Yeah.
I'm not a rat.
I just got done watching.
I'll rat you out right on. I'll tell you who the rats are.
But the soundtrack for all those pictures, the boxing movie, what was it called? Raging Bull. Yeah. Those 2 movies, for me,
Jake LaMotta,
have the coolest soundtracks.
For me, it's Lincoln Lawyer.
Okay, well, okay.
Have you ever seen that one?
Yeah, and I don't remember honestly much about the soundtrack. Cletus Steinlage might. Hi, Cletus. Yeah.
Hello, Cleet.
There he is.
How are you, Cletus?
He's joining us. By the way, if you're just joining us on Facebook Live, this is the Topeka Factor, which is your alternative real estate show with myself,
I think it's more than
Marshall
real
Barber,
estate.
And Henry McClure.
This is more than real estate.
It's sort of the...
Let's don't pigeonhole our real estate industry. We might hurt our real estate careers.
Yeah, as if there's anything to be damaged there. But
I told one client the other day at 21st Engage, I go, don't invest in this town.
Don't invest.
No, I told him not. Don't. It's a process. Look, I was at the end of my rope. I couldn't get a building permit. Now, here's a company that does $4.5 billion in sales.
Yeah.
They only have 2,600 restaurants and 75,000 employees.
Right. Well, and it's interesting the number of restaurants that you're mentioning there.
Well, you know them, the Flynn Group.
Because, yeah.
And let's lease that building.
I was reading just yesterday.
I'd buy that building if we could buy it, right?
Hmm?
Oh, we got to put the right tenant in there.
Yeah.
The whole thing about finding a tenant. Here's the really neat thing about real estate is, and this is how Mace Siegel got started.
We're talking about 10th and Topeka.
So, but let's just talk about from 10,000 feet real estate deals. So if you got a guy that wants to do a deal, and let's say he only wants to rent.
Okay.
Right? So you find a building that he wants to be in.
Right.
And let's just say it's for sale.
Now you're getting a phone call.
Who's that?
It says incoming 9690096. Doesn't say who it is.
I don't know. Well, let's just take the call. Put him live.
You're going to take a call here?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're on the Henry McClure Live Show.
Hey, Henry, it's Fred Patton. How are you?
Hey, Fred, how are you?
You good?
Well, you're here with Marshall Barber. We're going out live.
Good morning, Fred.
Yeah.
You know, Fred, we sure lost a good soldier in the House or in the Senate or wherever.
Yeah.
You're a good guy.
No, thank you. You know, I miss it a little bit, but not all the time.
No, it sounds like you're. Hey, but look, did you hear my message?
I did. Yeah, what's going on?
Well, so, and I don't want to go into great detail because we are live going on Facebook, but
Okay.
there's an
As well as
opportunity
YouTube.
there. Well, so a deal came out, and I actually asked Fred to maybe he ought to engage another real estate person to advise him.
Okay.
And because you got to support your friends. And I never wanted that comment to act like I didn't want to work with you. So something's coming back around, and I'd like to get you involved, and I'll call you when I'm off the air.
That sounds great. Well, you guys do have a great.
All right, you're a good man. Hey, now also I'm running for District 2 County Commissioner,
I saw that.
and I sure could use your help.
Well, yeah, let's visit. Give me a call.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
All right, thanks.
Bye.
Former member of the Kansas legislature there, representing, I can't remember what district, but yeah, Fred Patton.
Yeah,
Was
sometimes
briefly-
that's what you got to do.
Briefly joining the Topeka Factor. Now, are you back on X?
No, I'll go back on X. Or hey, let's go live on Instagram.
Okay.
Man, I like Instagram. Here, let's see.
Facebook Live coming to you
we're
this
gonna
morning.
go live on. I got back on TikTok.
On TikTok. Okay.
Yeah, I got live.
Now we're
back
really
live on TikTok.
Now we're really getting into the fringe of the social media community here. Yeah, we're gonna drag the median
TikTok,
age. We're gonna drag the median age of TikTok users up to over 50 just by our presence on TikTok.
Oh man, here.
This is Facebook Live, and what we are doing here, in case you're just dialing in and wondering what we're doing or what I'm doing, this is the Topeka Factor, a weekly show about the capital city with real estate implications, co-hosted by myself as well as.
Well, how many
Henry
years?
McClure.
Let's start looking at it this way. How many
Cumulative experience?
collective years together? So I got 44.
I'd have to say I started in 84. I guess that's what, 40 years?
So we got 84 years of collective real estate deal making experience.
Yeah, if only I didn't forget what I'd learned, I'd be in pretty good shape
Well,
now.
see, here's the thing about it. The whole thing about being in politics, it's all about deal making.
Okay.
You got to make a deal with the union.
Right.
You got to make a deal with this guy to do that. It's all deal making. If you can't think on your feet.
It's about finding common ground.
Yes. And look, even if our only common ground is Israel,
okay,
I'll drink to that.
Oh,
Coffee.
Well, okay, yeah. Here's to Israel. That's
yeah. So
I just got a wonderful letter from one of these committees that I donate to, and I made some small donations to I think it's called AJC.
Every little bit helps.
And also JDL, the Jewish Defense League, just small little pissant contributions. And
you got a letter.
You wouldn't believe the effusive thanks that I got in the mail.
And so I've been thinking about it lately because every once in a while you need a pat on the head. And
acknowledgement of some kind.
Well, and I've been thinking about, because people have been coming up to me, giving me constructive criticism about my behavior.
You know what I keep forgetting to do? I've got a campaign check for you, but I keep forgetting to bring it.
Oh, man.
My investor.
But that's nice. Thank you.
My investor wants to make a donation.
You know what's the nicest thing about anybody that's gave me money? I don't feel like I owe them anything.
Well, okay. That's good.
Yeah.
Because
because you're saying
all too often in politics,
everybody already knows how I feel, whether you like it or not.
In politics, all too often, people making donations think they're doing that for access, And
I'm the most accessible guy there is.
And if you have somebody,
the door's open. I'll answer the phone at any hour of the day.
If you've got someone who's already
I've learned from
accessible,
I've already learned from Dana. I want to be the voice for the rest of us.
It's like, okay, here's your free access candidate.
Oh man, hey, I love people, man, and I want to love Topeka again. And one of these guys is rattling my cage about my delivery, and yeah, I got to say something nice about Topeka. Well, I'll tell you what. If the deal goes through that I'm working on, I'll say something nice by investing my money in it.
Okay.
So I'm willing.
How much nicer can you get?
I'm willing to be a masochist. Mace Siegel always says you have to be a masochist to be in the real estate business, and you have to have a long memory.
Yeah. Okay. Well, take it from Mace Siegel then, who I think you said he. What was he said about racehorses? That
he would have had real money
if
he wouldn't have got into horse racing.
Yeah, because we do have the second leg of the Preakness.
But I never finished the story. So what you do is you take your guy that wants to lease the building,
right?
And you
10,000 square feet.
Yeah, so you lease him subject to you owning the building. Then you buy the building subject to financing.
Right, you got a double contingency there.
Yeah. And then you just put it all together. And that's how Mace did his first deal in Ottumwa, Iowa. And he bought it from the school board.
Okay.
The school board. And then once he had it all tied up, he found his money guy, Rich Cohen.
And for some reason, we're not hearing from our Ottumwa correspondent this morning.
I like that guy. I want to meet him. I actually may drive up to Ottumwa and put him on the Henry McClure live show.
What
if there's some way,
actually,
somehow...
we might be able to have him in Topeka because a mutual friend of ours just passed, and I'm anticipating
who died?
Terry Badmore, another Topeka West graduate, played football, really great guy, had been living in Hutchinson for the last several years with his wife, and he...
What's his name?
Terry Moore.
Okay, but what?
A.K.A. Terry Badmore.
Why was he bad?
Well, that was just his nickname.
Like bad to the bone?
Yeah.
Like badly.
Yeah, that kind of bad. And
he's bad.
Nothing bad about him. He's a great guy. And
that's bad.
He had Lou Gehrig's disease.
So that's bad.
Went down hard. So anyway, there's a chance that Steve Siegel will be in town for the. I guess now they call it a celebration of life as opposed to funeral.
Hey, look, I don't want to die, and I'm watching my diet, and I feel better. I've got it down to where if I eat the wrong food or if it's prepared wrong, I don't feel good. That's how sensitive I've got my little microbiome.
I need to get a copy of that book I saw.
Oh, wait a second here. Hang on.
Gut check.
Let's make a gift of that.
Gut check by Dr. Stephen Gundry. Yeah.
All right. Hang on. I'm gonna make a gift of that. Oh,
oops. What was that?
I don't know.
You just, as opposed to making a gift, I think you just stomped on the mouse. It's not. Yeah, there it is down there on the floor.
Well, let's see.
This is Facebook Live.
I think we're up and going still.
A rapidly deteriorating edition of the Topeka Factor here with Marshall Barber and Henry McClure, who is off looking for some literature that he's going to donate. And I think it's probably that Dr. Stephen Gundry book about nutrition, which is called Gut Check. And so we're definitely waiting on that. And the Topeka Factor is something that you'll be seeing intermittently. Probably.
Gut check.
There it is. Okay.
Gut check.
I saw that.
I'm going to write a little note.
I saw that walking in today.
Do you know that I can be an Amazon affiliate?
There's... Boy,
All right, here. We'll go back.
You can see his gymnastics background when he's clambering around between all the wires and hookups in the studio.
Won a state championship at Topeka West.
There you go. Oh, okay, that's right. You were also a Topeka West graduate.
No, rural.
Rural.
But you were in our league.
So
there was a guy named Alan that was like the football coach, gymnastics coach.
At West?
Yeah, his name was Allen.
Oh.
Last name.
Yeah. I don't know if that would have been Bill Allen or not. He was my football coach at Capper. And he was so excited when I quit the football team that he gave me an A in gym, because my absence from the team made them that much closer to a possible victory against somebody. So
this is going to be a very simple.
He is autographing a book. Dr. Stephen Gundry has, and I haven't seen his show, but he's on PBS.
So Gundry, here, what's the date today?
Today's the 15th of May, 2024. And when I'm going to have to take a little bathroom break, if I can be excused
just
for a
moment. Here, put it on me.
It is. You keep rambling on.
All right, Henry McClure Live. So
Henry McClure is taking over my Facebook Live.
Hey, here. But let me present this to you.
Thank you so much.
Because you can read it in the bathroom.
Yeah,
what about your place?
I won't be there that long.
I keep a set of glasses.
Let me.
Hey, you can take it in there too and show the
look at this.
The autograph.
Unleash the power of your microbiome to reverse disease and transform your mental, physical, and emotional health.
Dr. Gundry believes that you can heal yourself completely by taking care of your microbiome.
I can't wait to read this. Now I'm going to turn this over to you.
All right. So under a different show, we will film the autograph of Captain and Tennille. And so a dear friend of mine, Tim Bethel, one day was in my office. I just had moved back to Topeka. And finally, after you start telling all these stories of the people that I meet, because we had a client that was Audiences Unlimited. That was Dean Martin's daughter, Donna. And then I'm going to the horse track with Mace. And then I'm traveling back first class between Reno and LA like a ping pong ball. And it just starts sounding like bullshit. It really does. And one day I was talking to him about Max Baer, Jethro of the Beverly Hillbillies. And I got to know Max because he wanted to put a casino in Reno. And I introduced him to Mace. And Max used to call the house. It was cool. And finally, Tim Bethel goes, man, I'm calling bullshit on that one. So we called up Max. And Max kind of gave him sympathy for knowing me as well as he did. But Tim Bethel was cool. He used to call me everywhere I was in the country to wish me happy birthday on July 13th.
Make a note of that date.
Yes.
July 13th.
Gut Check changed my life.
Oh, you've already read the whole book?
No. Dr. Gundry, the theory behind the idea of what gut check is. Dr. Gundry changed my life completely. And I'm going to continue, because really that's how you have to develop in Topeka, Kansas. You got to outlive them. So I'm hoping that most of the council was vaccinated. I shouldn't wish that on that. I take that back.
He refers you to the movie Men in Black.
Who does?
Dr. Gundry.
I haven't read that book yet.
The introduction is called Bacterial Brainwashing. Put on your Rod Serling voice and go, what if I told you that free will is an illusion, but that instead of a vast, mysterious universe out there controlling our fates, there's actually a vast, mysterious universe within us that we are on the verge of being able to comprehend.
So do you know from your mouth
That's the first sentence.
To your anus, if you took yourself and flayed it, your microbiome would cover a tennis court.
Yeah, I've heard that. That's a fascinating, yes.
And it's only one set of cells deep. So here it is. Break it down like this. Avoid lectins.
Avoid what?
Lectins.
Oh, I thought you were saying elections, which wouldn't make sense. Avoid elections, yeah, for a candidate for the Shawnee County Commission 2nd District.
No, I need you to vote this year.
Avoid lectins. Hey. Lectins.
And just fill up with polyphenols. So you know what I had for breakfast?
Well, okay.
Okay, 2 cloves of garlic all chopped up.
Yeah.
And then when you go back into the kitchen and you smell the aroma, well then, extra virgin, it has to be cold pressed olive oil, and that's my shot. That's my breakfast.
That probably beats what I had for breakfast. But
well, wait till you read about what oatmeal does to you. It's terrible.
Okay, well, we got to say hi to another Topeka West
Tell
graduate.
me who.
Marla. Yeah.
Marla, what's her last name?
Now it's Malloy.
What was it before?
Firestone.
A Firestone?
Yep. She's one of the more famous radiant people to ever graduate from Capper Junior High, back when they called them junior highs as opposed to middle school. And
now that was named after Senator Capper?
You betcha. And you know what I found
Tell me.
The other day? I'm looking at a house to buy to rehab.
Yes.
Up in the attic, they had 2 issues of Jayhawk Jr., which was the Capper Junior High newspaper from like 1962. So I'll be bringing those into future editions of the Topeka Factor.
The Topeka Factor.
Because it's a time capsule back into a certain segment of Topeka society. You know, the kids who went to Capper. And all these middle schools, all these junior highs like Boswell, Crane, Holiday, they all had their little newspapers which talked about the kids going to the schools at that time.
We had the Wanamaker Warriors.
There you go.
That's what we were.
And it's fascinating to look back at that stuff, huh?
The McClure Eagles.
Yeah, the Eagles. Yeah. Okay. They.
All right, so let's talk real estate. Amanda, we got Amanda.
We got Amanda, and we've been talking about the building at 727 Kansas. One thing I did kind of want to talk about, this headline, city hasn't taken any binding action regarding, and this dovetails right in with everything that you've been talking about, both as a co-host of the Topeka Factor and as a candidate for local government.
Well, the
increased expenses of,
and it's only going to get worse because of the deferred maintenance
of an expanding number of people getting more and more money to do fill in the blank.
But you're talking about the hotel.
This mentions, this article about binding action not taken refers to the ongoing thing of hiring a new city manager.
No, we got him. He was hired. He's sworn in. They hired him last night.
Okay, this is from Tuesday's paper. So this article.
So by the evening, the news was old. Who wrote that?
Tim Rencher.
Ah, Tim.
Good man. But
he is a history buff.
Well, this is the history that he gives us. This salary they're talking about is $255,000 a year. The article goes on to say that in November 2004, we voted to replace the strong mayor-council form of government with the city council manager form, in which the council sets policy while the manager runs day-to-day operations.
And that's horseshit because...
Well, listen to this. The original city manager, Norton Bonaparte, was paid $137,500.
My favorite guy. I like that guy.
And then,
that guy got run out of town just because he was black.
They threw him under the bus.
They did.
And then they voted 6-3.
There were people on the council whose girlfriend worked for the city. She's now the deputy mayor. She was an employee of the city of Topeka, and one of the councilmen, her future husband, interceded with Norton, and he refused to get in the way of all that, and that's why he got run out of town.
So he leaves, and
nobody says shit like that.
The next guy they hire was Jim Colson, who got paid $170,000.
And he never even lived in town. I don't think his wife moved here.
Why would you hire someone who doesn't even want to move to Topeka in the first place?
They were from Arizona.
Right.
And I'll never forget.
That's why he left, to go back to Arizona.
Well, his wife was probably hot.
Well, living in Arizona, probably, yes.
It was probably good for the marriage while he was here.
So anyway.
But that's not cool.
Colson bails out, In 2017, they hire Brett Trent. By this time, the salary is $195,000. Trent resigns in 2021 to go to North Carolina. The
he
mayor
was kind of a. Do you ever meet him?
I never
was an
did.
Iowa guy.
I did not know him.
To come into Topeka was the Peter principle. He got elevated to a level of
his level of incompetency.
Yes.
Okay, for which
keep going.
For which he was getting paid $195,000 a year. Now, in September 22, they hire Stephen Wade. Yeah. They hire Stephen Wade.
Oh, man. 250.
200.
Oh, man.
200 smooth, they pay Stephen. Now, Stephen, his recent demise, prompted a lawsuit, which I'm sure he'll lose, but nonetheless, he is suing the city.
$100 million.
For wrongful termination, I guess.
Well,
but now they hire this
some
new.
of that's got some legs.
They get this. That could
and
be.
I'll tell you why.
But
go ahead.
This new guy, the latest guy, is in at $255,000. So my question is, how have the duties and responsibilities of city manager increased such that nearly doubling the salary since that position was first created justify?
Because Topeka...
You go from $137,500 to $255,000.
Did you ever hear...
Now, of course, you got to have cost of living, blah,
Nobody
blah, blah.
likes that guy. They had to tie a pork chop around his neck to get the dog to play with it. Have you ever heard that?
Yeah.
That's Topeka. So we are the pork chop of cities, and you got to you got to pay him so much to come here. But really, what I think the council...
Well, wait a minute.
What?
You got to pay someone $255,000 a year to be city manager?
Yeah.
I
So
don't
you
think
can
so.
control them.
Huh? Why?
Look, it's Project Santa Claus.
Why not find a local dude? I mean, I can think of several people.
Craig McCullough could have done it, whether you like him or not.
Find a local guy who'd do it for $100,000.
Joe Ledbetter.
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of people out there who.
You know, Joe Ledbetter has a degree.
Well, now they just gave him some money. What was that all about?
Keep him off Project Santa Claus.
Yeah, they gave him $70,000 or something. But all I'm saying is that, and this was.
Well, Wade did that to keep him off. You know, how are you going to control me? Now I'm the Joe Ledbetter.
Finding that Mayor Bill McCormick sign in the building yesterday brought back all the memories of city council.
The last leader we had in this town was Joan Wagner.
And you know, when you had a street department with a street commissioner like Terry Gartner, you could run
Jack
up to,
Alexander was the best water commissioner.
You had a water commissioner like Jack Alexander.
What a cool dude.
You know, you go right up to these guys and say, hey, man, what about Cambridge Avenue between 7th and 8th? And what about this huge pothole that doesn't seem to go away on the corner of, 6th and McVicker, which, by the way, there is.
Well, so are you saying maybe we should have offered the guy $200,000?
Well, all I'm saying is this is completely out of control.
Well, yeah, but I mean, so
we
Howard Paul and some lady the other day said, "Oh, isn't he in jail?" And I go, "No." I mean, how smug people get about stuff.
That would be another example of somebody who he didn't get. Howard is like some of the young people leaving Topeka because they don't see an opportunity.
No, he's got $20 million right now.
Yeah.
And he ain't putting a nickel of it in Topeka.
Right.
Not after they blew him out of the water up on Highway 24 with Brahms.
Yeah.
You know, God. So what you're saying is, did we negotiate with the guy? But what you do is you pay him the $255, and then the council controls him. Guys like Henry McClure can't get in there and talk to this guy because the council will poison the well.
The new guy you're talking about.
Yeah.
You can't get in to talk to.
No, I won't even try.
His name is Perez, Robert Perez.
Yeah, he looked like a really nice guy.
Probably
Actually,
is.
He's a doctor.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
Lives in Dallas. I don't know anything about him. I'm sure he's a great guy. And why don't we just say this? What if he's worth $250? What if, let's say that we don't know this, you and I don't know this. But what if he's really good at economic development? Another reason to get rid of Molly and her slush fund. We just have Perez do the deals.
Well, and that raises another question, which is,
hey, you're going to have to work a little longer, Mr. Doctor.
What is the criteria for evaluating the performance of a city manager? Does anyone even do that?
Did we ever go back and evaluate consolidation of the parks?
Yeah, well, okay, there's another one.
Okay, so right now, California is wanting to evaluate the $60 billion for the homeless.
Okay.
So I want to go back and evaluate from every nickel of what Topeka spent on economic development, because it was there to grow the population and lower the tax base. It didn't work, so let's do things different.
So you'd be in favor of an audit?
I want to audit. It's like the Fed. Let's audit the Fed, but let's audit Topeka. Do you know that Wade had, I think, $1 million earmarked for the mission?
Okay.
Okay, that was all part of his deal.
For Topeka Rescue Mission?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then there were a lot of new hires that came in under the Wade regime.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
At big salaries.
More than 10, right?
Yeah, at big salaries. It's like our planning department. There's a guy named Dan Warner. He would have made a great planning director. Served his time, been there.
Right.
And then he got bounced out by somebody from Topeka.
Oh, I did not know that.
Well, yeah. And I'm not saying she can't do a good job. She's smart. I mean, her mom is director of real estate for Jim Klossman.
Okay.
So, I mean, she grew up around deals, but was it the right hire?
And
so anyway, I'm talking about accountability.
Well, this has been one of our beefs all along here with this form of government that we have.
We got to make a deal to never turn into Robin and Megan.
There is no accountability, basically. I mean, the man on the street, the woman on the street, trying to get an answer, trying to get to somebody that is actually accountable, that's all gone pretty remote.
No,
with this form of government that we have.
And there's the one guy that ever reported anything controversial at the CJ was attacking Farley.
Who's that?
Jerry Farley?
No, I mean the guy.
I don't know. We'll have to look up his name.
Okay. But one thing, though, on the positive side about Topeka city government, I recently started trying to sell some properties in Lawrence. Actually, I have sold some properties in Lawrence. Shouldn't say trying to sell. But I have found that if you're trying to do something really simple, like get the water turned on in Lawrence, you can literally spend all day on hold. What they try to do is make you go online to arrange all that.
Are you adverse to that?
Well, the problem with online is you don't talk to anybody. You don't know if anybody is. You can't make an appointment. You don't know where things stand. So, and I've had other real estate agents in Lawrence confirm this, that our city government is impossible
say government.
I'm just talking about basic services here. I'm not talking about policy or anything.
Okay,
I'm just saying when you need your water turned on in Topeka, you can call a phone number. I think it's 368-3111.
That is.
And sooner or later, you'll get a live human.
368.
And they will address your concern. You can't do that in Lawrence. You get put on hold indefinitely. So,
and that's what I want to try to.
People get into Topeka bashing and go, oh yeah, Lawrence is cool. Okay, well, Lawrence might be cool, but you try to get your water turned on.
I want to dig deep down, and I want to find all the good things of why I came home.
Okay.
I do. I really do. And I'm telling you, there are a lot of good people in Topeka. And when I first moved back, I got to know Mike Tepley and Neil Dobler over in Public Works. And I got to know the planning department and this old guy.
So, why couldn't Neil Dobler have been a city manager?
Because he's smart.
Well, I think he wanted the job, didn't
he? I don't think he ever wanted the job.
I thought he did. He was from Bartlett and West, wasn't he?
No, he came from Public Works of the city of Topeka. He was interim city manager during College Hill.
Okay, he was interim city. That's where I got.
But man, that guy's a good guy. He's a good guy in some cases and a bad guy in other cases.
Well, you can't always be a good guy.
No.
Not even me.
It's the yin and yang.
That's what it is.
Yin and yang.
So, okay, we've got
yin, you're yang.
Yang, yang, yang. That sounds like a Coaster song. In fact, that was the Little Egypt. Yang, yang.
The Little Coasters.
Little Egypt by the Coasters. That would be a tune.
Where's
that will
Little
be on,
Egypt from? What's the name of their town?
That would be maybe
Did it begin with a beat?
Cairo, Illinois.
Cairo, Illinois.
Anyway, that would be a tune that would be on the playlist of Kiwi Rock when we get it going.
We will. It will be kiwi.rock.
By the way, if you're thinking of stealing that idea, Henry already has it.
I already own the domain.
Yeah.
But we'd like to get you to sell advertising now. We have a job. It's all commission only. Let's get some advertising going.
Okay. Well,
and look at who advertised on Ren, and then we'll just sell them Kiwi.
I wonder who advertises on Ren.
Well, it's really easy to find out.
You tried to buy them out. That's interesting. And they wouldn't sell.
Yeah, and I don't blame them. Why? It ain't broken. They're making money.
Were you making a lowball offer or what?
I didn't have a chance to even.
What were you doing there?
Just poking the bear.
Yeah. See, I wonder too.
See, sometimes I'd rather grow through acquisitions.
Yeah. I wonder too about leasing space on a radio station and going terrestrial as well as on the internet.
Well, so.
But we'd have to pay.
I think we can
airspace.
have a virtual radio station today if we just signed up for it.
Right. Yeah. And we'd have to have a way of providing content.
Well, yeah, I mean, but you got the turntable.
And I can't do a show every day. That's the thing,
Let's do that. Let's get to where we don't have to work anymore.
Okay.
And just do this.
Well, okay, one last question.
All right,
and then I think we kind of need to sign off for the day.
Okay.
But getting back to these downtown properties.
Oh, wow. This will be a 2-hour show.
Why, what time is it?
It's going on
12:30?
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, that's cool. Getting back to this downtown property.
I live downtown now, and I like it.
It's 727 Kansas. How do you redevelop a property like that? What do the numbers have to be in order for it to make money? In other words, if you're turning it into condos, what do they need to sell for? If you're leasing retail space, does it need to be $15 a square foot? Et cetera, et cetera. They got 2 retail spaces there, which, by the way, the whole thing's totally time capsule. And when you're up in the office / residential zone, it's totally 1930. But even on
Did you like 1930?
Well, yeah, good year. But on the down, the first floor, the entryway still has those trippy old, where they have the inlaid, it's either like brass or something, where they pronounce the name of the building.
Man, some of those stairways.
The name of the business.
Were those inscripted? Are those stairways in the retail space that takes you up to like a crow's nest in the back?
There's a mezzanine in the back, yeah.
I could just feel it.
But out front, you've got this inscription saying Wolf's, WOLFS, not Wolf's Camera, but
it was a jeweler.
Wolf's Jewelers.
It was a jeweler.
And then I think on the left-hand side, it was Lerner or something or other.
Hellsberg bought them up eventually.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a Hellsberg's at 8th and Kansas, and that's where that new taco place is going.
Yeah.
But so the question remains, how do you parse out the dollars and cents of redeveloping a property where you have ground floor retail, 2 stories of office / perhaps residence, although I don't know that you could do both.
You know what I think you have to do on that deal?
Like what they do at the Palace.
It's vacant.
Okay. And
there's a shortage of retail.
I was the listing agent on that in 2001 when Steve Hutchinson bought it. So that 23 years later, it's vacant, you're saying.
Well, have you seen the Mix downtown? The new store, the Mix?
No, the mix?
Yeah. Go in the mix. Not only are the owners, it's like, it's a fashion store.
The mix?
Yeah.
What's the location on that?
Just south of the Pennant.
Okay.
Yeah, the mix. I walked in there. It's all these attractive women dressed nice. Really, the store's well merchandised. The price points seem modest, for ladies ready to wear. And
the mix.
Yeah, the mix. And then there's a new store ladies ready to wear out at the mall. And she was complaining a little bit about foot traffic.
At the mall?
At the mall.
Well, they have a...
I bought some shirts. They were closing out men. Did I ever tell you about the Great Life deal I wanted to do out there?
Well, but keep going on this retail point here.
So what I'm getting at is the guy that buys this listing
Yeah.
is the guy that owns the retail store himself. It's an owner-operator.
Okay.
Yeah, it's an owner-operator. And then I just don't think downtown deals, it's just back to how it all got started. Let's go back to New York City, right?
Okay.
Where you had your store below and you lived above.
Exactly.
That's it. And that's what we got to go back to. That's what will bring downtown back. And I'm telling you, I don't mind one bit of going to Sam's Club or going to Walmart or going to Dillon's and bringing my groceries in. The only thing I hate about living downtown is at 5th and Adams, I've got one of the worst streets.
Oh, yeah.
To 8th Street.
How many blocks are you willing to walk your groceries? That's my question.
Well, no, I get a park in my parking lot. I mean, but what I'm getting at
where you live now.
I'm just saying that's the problem with our city.
Okay.
Is that we don't have nice streets. We're more worried about Queen Bee and Oreo and Project Santa Claus and $3.5 million to Molly and her slush fund than just fixing that street right there. Let's fix up the heart of Topeka.
Well, and how many more police officers could you hire for, say, $2 million?
And we better start thinking about that. So I've been asking people, and I'm going to ask you now, with the upcoming election.
Oh, we got a new viewer. Hi, Ramen Evans.
Hello, Ramen.
Okay.
Top ramen.
So, yeah. So your question was?
What's the biggest concern to you this fall when you vote? What's the biggest issue in your mind?
For the county commission?
No. Just in the universe, whatever it is. I would love me to be the center of attention, but I'm not.
Okay, well.
Just this.
You're talking local politics?
No, I'm talking about whatever.
Or you're talking national,
I'm just
global?
Talking.
Yeah.
Incessantly.
Oh, yeah, that's what we do here on the Topeka Factor.
We're ensconced.
As opposed to a couple of old guys at McDonald's bitching about everything.
Yeah.
You see that?
We just do it online.
You go into these coffee houses and you'll see 5 or 6 old guys sitting around bitching, when in fact all of them have nice paid-for houses, nice paid-for cars. Life is good, especially compared to the way other people have it around the world.
When I lived in Chattanooga, we called them the Dead Pecker Club.
There you go.
They were the TVA guys from the
Tennessee Valley Authority.
and which was one of the best things of the New Deal ever.
Absolutely.
FDR did good on Tennessee Valley Authority.
Well, Lake Shawnee is an example of Depression-era public works projects.
So's Topeka High.
That continue to benefit everybody. So,
right? So what is it? So I've polled a couple of people, and the answer has been the border. The border's the number one thing that they're worried about in this upcoming election. And if that's their way, of saying who they're going to vote for, and some people say I don't like either choices, but man, I'm worried about the border. And that's why we have to make sure that we've funded our police department and our sheriff department. Vote for Brian Hill.
Well, yeah. I mean, my reason for wanting more police officers is dealing with the criminal element we already have. I don't particularly imagine that somebody from China who has risked life and limb and spent all of his family's money, which he's earned by being a resourceful person where he's coming from. I'm not too worried about these people fleeing Honduras because these countries have become completely unsafe to live in thanks to the drug cartels, which in turn relates back to the large number of drug addicts we have in this country who refuse to stop using drugs but continue to enrich the cartels.
Look
I'm
how
not worried.
smart the drug addicts are.
I'm not worried about those guys
We can
that
make
haven't
more
gotten
money
here
moving
yet.
people.
When you're talking about the border, you're talking about a hypothetical group of people who, yeah, they may or may not end up here. I'm talking about the people who are here right now, who are breaking into my truck and stealing my, there's another phone call.
Is that yours or mine?
Stealing my ice maker.
Now who you got?
No, that's mine, and I'll have to call this gentleman back.
All right, look.
But I guess it's about time to wrap it up.
I think we've yacked on for 2 hours.
Yeah, I mean, there ought to be something of value in all of this for somebody. And thanks to everybody who's been watching, listening, and viewing on the various channels.
As we talk about the Chinese, I got back on TikTok.
Okay.
Because I'm not worried. If they're stalking me, it's confusion to the enemy. What is this guy doing?
Yeah. Like I said, we've dragged the median age of TikTok users up to over 50 just by our presence on it.
Well, I can't believe some of the followers I have. I'm almost 3,000 followers on TikTok.
Are you kidding me?
And I've just got back on it.
Wow. Okay. We're just TikToking away.
TikTok, baby. TikTok. All right, Henry McClure live here with Marshall Barber.
Splish splash, we're taking a bath.
Yep. And coming soon, Kiwi.rock.
Kiwi.rock.
We'll have to change the studio around.
So please plan on joining us next week for another edition of the Topeka Factor.
Hey, and also, too, if you want to come on and have your own Topeka Factor, we'll help you out.
Okay.
Sign off. Say goodbye over here.
We're right here?
Yeah, right there. Say goodbye. Henry McClure live.